Show your school spirit and make all the difference. Sport your team's colors at the MVC tournament and get great seats for as little as $12 a session. Just $12. Don't miss the 2014 Missouri Valley Conference Women's Basketball Tournament at the Family Arena in St. Charles, Missouri. Show your school spirit and get your tickets now. NCAA March Madness is coming to St. Louis. When the final buzzer sounds, only the best will advance to the NCAA Sweet 16. Experience it live. Catch second and third round action of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship March 21st and 23rd at Scott Trade Center, hosted by the Missouri Valley Conference. Single session tickets start at $66 and are available for a limited time. Visit ncaa.com/MBV tickets and make a date with champions.
All lines have been placed on mute to prevent any background noise. If you would like to ask a question during the conference, please press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. To withdraw your question, press the pound key. I will now turn the call over to Kelly Briscoe. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the final Missouri Valley Conference Women's Basketball call heading into this weekend's conference tournament. I know it's a busy time for everybody, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Our first coach we should have on the line is Drake's head coach, Jenny Baranchik. Jenny, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Pretty good. You guys opened the conference season 1-6, and you finished 8-3 with your only 3 losses coming to the top 3 teams. What do you kind of think started clicking for your team to kind of go on that late season successful run?
You know, honestly, I think a big part is we're relying a lot on our younger players and our freshmen, and I think they, we had 2 freshmen that kind of came out in a different way, and, one came out really strong at the very beginning of the year and then kind of hit a wall a little bit and then has come back on, and then the other one it took a little bit of time, but I think a lot of that, and I think the biggest reason, honestly, though, probably even more than that, is the way that Kendall Clark has been playing, and she's been a leader for our team. She's in a flow right now. She's just a phenomenal player.
Right, she's definitely lightened it up from 3. At this time, I'll go ahead and open it up for questions from the media.
To ask Coach a question, press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, for questions, press star 1. Our first question comes from R.C. McBride of Missouri Valley Conference Television.
Coach, good luck this weekend, but just maybe if I could get a few more comments about Lizzie's performance. You look at that kind of recognition as Newcomer a Week, and obviously that puts her in some pretty exclusive company, not only in your program's history, but also in the history of the league. So just some thoughts on her.
Yeah, she has really had a tremendous year for us, and she's just a great all-around player. I think she's one of the only players to lead the conference, and not just as freshmen, but the conference in, I think, 9 different statistical categories in the top 20. And I think, one, that speaks for itself. But when you specifically in our program, when you put her in company with the Tammy Blackstone and the Carla Bennett, and it really puts some things into perspective about just how special this year has been for her. And she's just a player that's played a lot of minutes. She's playing, deep into March, and a lot of freshmen, that's hard to do, and I think she's handled it with grace. I think she's poised. And she doesn't really play like a freshman. She really doesn't. Now, she has plenty of freshman moments, don't get me wrong. But for the most part, she's pretty mature kid, and she's just really done a nice job for our team. I mean, if we didn't have her, we wouldn't be where we've been. And the same thing goes for, if she didn't have Kendall Clark, I don't know if she'd be the player she was either. So I think they have a really, really neat chemistry between the two of them.
Thanks, Coach.
Our next question comes from Jill Hutchison of the Valley TV.
Hi, Jenny. You've got an interesting game this week with Evansville. You're really the last team to have played them without Mallory Ladd and some of their other injured players returning. Your thoughts about the game and what you need to do differently than last time you played them?
Mallory Ladd's a special player. She really has obviously done an incredible job with them, winning, I believe, 8 in a row. And I think Otis does a great job of coaching. I mean, we're just talking about our freshman, and that's exactly what he's going to be talking about is having an experienced player that's really helping out his freshmen. And I think that, there's going to be some changes. Obviously, we're going to have to really defend the inside game a little bit more than we did the first time around. And at the same time, what we've done well, Jill, honestly, is that we've just given it our best shot and not tried to worry so much about our opponent. You have to worry about every opponent in our conference. I think everyone in our conference is a great basketball team. But we're just focused on getting better and hoping that you can see the fruits of your labor during March.
And are you pleased with where you are right now, Jenny? Do you feel like your team is really peaking?
I think so. I think we've had some really good moments. I think, it's hard to ask that. It's hard to say yes, yes, yes when you have, in our last 3 games, they've been decided by 5 points. And, you lose 2 of those and you win 1 of those. But at the same time, I feel like we're in a really good place. And I do. And I think, things can go either way. And I think, our game against UNI was probably one of the most fun games. You just wish you were on the other side of it. When you have 4 players, 2 from UNI and 2 from our team that have career nights, like there's something special about that. And so I think that the way that we've continued to grow, that's what I'm the most pleased about.
Great. We're looking forward to it. Good luck.
Thanks, Jill.
Jenny, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Best of luck this weekend, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Have a good one.
Thanks. All right, next on the line, let's welcome Coach Kelly Harper from Missouri State. Kelly, good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I was actually at the game, the Loyola game, and Kenzie Williams went down with that gruesome injury. Kind of talk about how life's been without her and who has really stepped up, maybe unexpectedly, without her in the lineup.
Well, there's no doubt we're a different basketball team without Kenzie on the court. I think she did so many things for us that honestly didn't show up on the stat sheet. She filled the stat sheet for us, and then some of the other things that were is her experience, her leadership, and then her ability to help her teammates and put them where they need to be. Since her injury, it's really been a thing where we've asked a lot of different people to step up, maybe someone to be a little bit better here, maybe play a couple more minutes there. Somebody needs to, it's not one person that's going to be able to make up for what she did for us. Everybody has to just be a little bit better.
Right. Thanks, Coach. This time I'll go ahead and open it up for questions for you.
To ask Coach a question, press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. Our first question comes from Todd Hefferman of the Southern Illinois newspaper.
Hey, Coach, what kind of adjustments do you think Tiana Snow is going to have to make with Kenzie's injury and probably a little bit more attention on her?
Well, I think she's been seeing a lot more attention in the last few games since Kenzie's injury, and it's definitely been harder for her. She still had some really good games, but it's been harder for her to to get to the paint because the lane's been a little bit more clogged up. When you have Kenzie standing out there, it opens up the floor quite a bit. So, she and I have watched a little bit of film about what she could do a little bit differently with the basketball. And, she's still super aggressive, but we just got to find ways to get her some driving opportunities.
And with Diana Pierre playing her again, that you were able to beat them, by 17, even though she had 27 and 18. You kind of look at, you can't, she's going to get a couple rebounds and a couple points, but you can't let anybody else beat you. Is that kind of your attitude?
She's really, really good. She is very talented and provides such a physical presence in the paint. We really want to limit her touches as much as possible and try to keep her off the boards as much as possible. That's not going to be something that we'll be able to do for 40 minutes. I think she just does such a good job that it's impossible to keep her off the boards for 40 minutes. But that's one of our biggest challenges. And they have obviously some athleticism around her. They've got some kids that can knock down some shots and some other post players that I think do a really good job. So, it's not just about her, but obviously she's the player that you've got to key in on defensively.
And what do you look at, sometimes it's hard to beat somebody 3 times, with your team being a little bit different now than before. And, what do you tell your team about playing up for the 3rd time? How things may be a little different on the neutral floor?
Yeah, for us, we just have to go out and be prepared to execute whatever we do. And, there's no doubt that we'll make some adjustments. They will make some adjustments. And during the game, I've got to rely on our players to be able to step up and make in-game adjustments as well. You're right. It is not easy to beat a team 3 times in one season, regardless of the scores of the previous scores. But, I think for us, our focus has to be on execution, both offensively and defensively.
Our next question comes from R.C. McBride of Missouri Valley Conference Television.
Good morning, Coach. Just kind of along a similar theme, but, the old cliche is that whenever a team is hit with an injury like what you've had, that does create more opportunities. I'm just kind of curious, again, how your team is reacting. Do you feel pretty good, given the situation that kids are responding, knowing that they need to contribute maybe in different ways?
Yeah, I think our players have really tried to step up. The thing that it would be really easy right now for our players just to honestly just to cash it in, and we've lost several games here down the stretch, and for our players to continue to come back every day with a positive attitude, a willingness to work and get better, I think that speaks volumes of who they are and what they're trying to do on the court. We may not always be successful, but players are trying, and right now, I just appreciate the effort that they're giving.
Thanks, Coach.
Kelly, I think that's all the questions for you. Best of luck this weekend, and we'll see you soon.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks. Our next coach on the line should be head coach Michael Brooks of the Bradley Braves. Michael, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. How y'all doing today?
Pretty good. You guys are going to be facing off on Thursday night with Loyola. This is a team that you split with in the regular season. What do you kind of see as your key to coming out on top?
We've got to stop their transition. They want to get the ball down and get shots up quick. So defensively, we've got to do a great job stopping their transition, making them play a half-court game, and then keeping, their big dogs off of the rebounds, off of the board. That's been a struggle for us this year, and all we communicate and all we focus on right now is defensively getting these stops. We played pretty well against their matchup last time. We've got to add some tweaks and some twists to be able to get get some easier buckets against that, which open up our regular offense, against the zone. But, definitely on the defensive end, we've got to stop their transition and then be able to defensive rebound so we can get out and run and have some fun.
Thanks, Coach. At this time, I'll go ahead and open up for questions for you.
To ask Coach a question, press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, for questions, press star 1.
Coach, talk about the season that Michelle Young's had and how much has changed from her game from last year.
Michelle has just been has been our rock. This year she has really blossomed as a player. On the offensive end, looking to attack more. We still got to, expand her game, using her offhand, using the three-point shot. But the time she's put in the gym has no doubt, shown in her game. We've been able to put her in different positions, whether it's the high post, the wing, the baseline runner. And then she always draws the top, player on the opposing team as her defensive assignment. So she does so much for our team. She's a believer in what we're trying to do. She works great in the classroom, and with a shining example for what we want as a Bradley Brave going forward.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep,
I think
appreciate
we'll go ahead and let you go.
Yep, thank you.
Good luck. We'll see you Thursday.
No doubt. See you next year. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Next on the line should be head coach Cheryl Swoops of Loyola. Cheryl, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Wonderful. How are you?
Doing pretty well. Just asked Michael the same kind of question. You split with Bradley during the regular season. What do you kind of see as your key to victory in that game?
To play a lot better than we played the last game. They're a good team getting out in transition. They definitely want to run. They want to push the ball up the floor. And we've talked a lot about really trying to slow their transition game down. We've got to rebound the basketball. I know what he was saying about keeping us off the boards, but, we're not a very good rebounding team. We haven't been all season long. We just got to go out and play hard. We have to play to our strengths. And I do think we have an advantage, hopefully, of trying to get the ball inside. But if we can get out, run in transition, keep them off the boards and slow their transition game down, I think we'll give ourselves a pretty good chance at winning this game.
Thanks, Cheryl. At this time, I'll go ahead and open up for questions for you.
To ask Coach a question, press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. Our first question comes from Jill Hutchinson of Valley TV.
Cheryl, talk a little bit about Troy Hambrick and what she brings to the table for your team.
Hi, Jill. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Troy has been just a leader for us, both on the court, off the court. She's battled through some injuries all season long, and she's just been a warrior. I'm not sure a lot of people knew what to expect from Troy, especially, being new to the conference first time around. Second time around, it was completely different because she started getting double-teamed and actually triple-teamed from some teams. And, we got to have other players stepping up when that happens. But Troy, she goes out, she plays hard. She's just doing it all for us right now. I told her I may have to have her playing point guard at the tournament. I'm not really sure, but she takes a lot of pride in who she is. She's a senior. She wants to go out on top, and I couldn't be more proud of the leader that she's been for us this year.
One other quick question. This is your first time as a head coach, and it's your kids' first time in this Valley tournament. Mm-hmm. How do you approach the tournament and the whole environment?
One thing I said to our girls yesterday is it's a whole new season now. It doesn't really matter what you did in the regular season, what people did in conference. That's what the conference tournament's all about. And to me, right now, you want to be playing your best basketball. Unfortunately, I don't think we are, but I do think our girls are excited about the tournament. Looking forward to coming to St. Charles and just having a great show. you only get one opportunity to make a first impression. And I think our girls are really taking that to heart. They're excited about it. They're looking forward to it, and there are definitely some nerves. I, for one, am really excited about the tournament. Looking forward to seeing what all the hype around the Valley Conference tournament is all about. And, we're just looking forward to coming down and hopefully making all the fans of Loyola proud, making the university proud. And we're just going to go out and do what we hopefully can do, and that's try to get a win on Thursday.
All right. Good luck, Cheryl. See you then.
Thank you. See you.
Our next question comes from R.C. McBride of Missouri Valley Conference Television.
Coach, good afternoon, and a belated welcome to the Missouri Valley Conference. But in a similar vein, I'm just kind of curious, now that you made 2 complete trips through the league, just your thoughts on play in the Valley in general.
One thing, thanks for the welcome, by the way. One thing that I have learned in my first year as a head coach and first year in the Valley, I think there's great parity in this conference. I think on any given night, any team can beat any other team, depending on who shows up to play. And I've said about my team several times all year, I just never know which one of my teams is going to show up. If it's the team that actually believes they can win and they play with confidence, then we're a pretty good team. Or if it's the team that says we're not supposed to be here because of injuries and everything, other adversities and obstacles that we had to overcome this year, then we're not very good when we show up that way. Overall, I think the competition from the time we played our first game in the Valley this year, I think the competition level is pretty good. I think the marketing that everyone does around the league, the support that the conference has, I've been very impressed and can honestly say that there's not another conference I would have been more proud to start my coaching career in.
That's great. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Cheryl, I think that's all the questions for you. Best of luck this weekend, and we'll see you Thursday.
Thank you. See you Thursday.
Yeah.
Bye.
Next on the line, we should have assistant coach Kurt Crawford filling in for Jody Adams this morning. Kurt, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you all?
Pretty good.
Good.
Kind of talk about you guys. First of all, congratulations on clinching a share of the regular season title. You guys had an outstanding season. Kind of talk a little bit about how you'd won 20 straight, and then you kind of went on a lull and lost 4 out of 5, but then came back and just took it to Missouri State. Do you guys kind of think you're back on track now?
Well, I know Coach. I know Jody hopes so, and you're exactly right. I think our team and our program kind of took a hiatus, and for whatever reason, we don't know. But in a league like the Missouri Valley Conference, you can't take a night off, and it certainly caught up with us. And we certainly got back in the gym from that learning situations of dropping 4 out of our last 5 games, and really got back in the gym and in practice and got back to our identity defensively. And I know that was Jody's for 3 days in practice. She wanted to just get our team back on the tracks and get back to her philosophy of defense, and that's her identity, obviously, the program and with our kids, and we did a much better job versus Missouri State of finding that identity defensively again.
Thanks, Coach. At this time, I'll go ahead and open it up for questions for you.
To ask Coach a question, press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, for questions, press star 1. Our first question comes from Nick Pateros of Waterloo Courier.
Hi, Coach. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the way your offense came alive there that last game against Missouri State. I know you had been held in the 50s the 3 previous losses. What did you see kind of different in that final game of the regular season?
Well, we turned Missouri State over 27 times, and I think we scored something like 37 points off turnovers. And that's how our offense really generates our points, is in the open floor and off our defense. And we had a lot of open floor points off our defense and off turnovers.
Our next question comes from Jill Hutchison of Valley TV.
Morning. I'm just kind of curious how you feel those 3 losses affect your kids' confidence level coming into the tournament, facing some of the teams that were able to knock you off.
Well, it certainly woke them up, Jill, and I think our confidence has gotten a lot better in our practices, which hopefully will take us into the conference tournament a confident team. And I think our confidence improved with our last win versus Missouri State. And as long as our team is playing defense like Jody wants them to do, their confidence tends to be very high. And especially when we get run out and transition points off our defense, our confidence tends to be much better. And we certainly didn't have that in our losing streak there. So I think our program, our kids are confident going into the tournament, and we're looking forward to a great test every night.
One other real quick question, Kirk. You're getting a lot out of your top 5, 6 kids. Any concerns about depth playing 3 games in 3 days?
Well, certainly, and that's a great point. And we're going to have some role players really step up and give some minutes to that top 6 kids that we rely heavily on minutes. And over 3 games, back to back to back, that's certainly a concern. And Jody has mentioned that to our team. And we got some role players in our Missouri State game and gave them a little bit of confidence, I believe. But that is certainly a concern of ours, where our role players are going to step up and give those 6 top minute players some rest over the next 3 days.
Okay, thanks. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Our next question comes from R.C. McBride of Missouri Valley Conference Television.
Coach, thanks for the time this morning. Maybe some thoughts, the fact that your program and you have some kids and your staff have been in this situation before and you've been successful in crunch time situations. Do you anticipate that experience can have an impact on a weekend like this?
Absolutely. I mean, nothing is great of a teacher as experience, and especially in postseason, where out of our top 6 kids, 5 were involved in postseason last year and the NITs before that. And I think the NCAA experience really helped us last year of going, knowing what it's going to take to win the Valley, and then going to the NCAA is really going to help those top 5 kids that experienced that last year. So they've all been there. They know what Jody's expectations are. They know we're going to be tested every night, and they've lived it. So hopefully that experience will help us.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Craig Pearson of the Terre Haute Tribune-Star.
Hi, Coach. Several girls seemed very deserving of potential Player of the Year vote this year. What were you most impressed by with Alex Harden this year?
She really had to take a leadership role. We had 6 new players this year, and she, from summer conditioning all the way to the present, they really rely on Alex, and they should. And so Alex's leadership role has really stepped up. Last year she was on a team with 5 seniors, and not that she was not a leader last year, but her role has expanded into certainly being a leader both on and off the floor this year with a young group. And so that's the most pleasing thing with us. And then her basketball IQ just continues to grow, and I think that's the biggest thing with Alex's basketball games. Her IQ continues to grow, and then her leadership both on and off the floor with a young group.
Coach, I think that's all the questions for you. Thanks for stepping in today for Jody. Safe travels, and we see you this weekend.
You bet. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, next on the line, we should have head coach Otis S. of Evansville. Good afternoon, Otis. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
You guys are coming into the tournament pretty hot, winners of 8 straight. The numbers in your record with and without Mallory Ladd is just remarkable. What do you think that she's doing to make such a difference in those games?
Well, she's probably the most underrated player in the Valley. Her leadership, her ability to facilitate our offense and our defense has been the biggest difference. You know, we're 0-6 without her, and we're 10-2 with her, and she gives us such a presence on the inside, you know, with her mid-range shooting ability, her ability to pass basketball. She can extend to the three, and she's also pretty good around the basket. So her versatility, her leadership, the morale of our team's at an all-time high right now, and it has a lot to do with her.
Thanks, Coach. At this time, I'll open it up for questions for you.
To ask Coach a question, press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. Our first question comes from Jill Hutchinson of Valley TV.
Hey, O'Keefe, you guys are probably the hottest team in the Valley right now. And I'm curious, in your game with Drake, you split with them, but your second game you played without Mallory. What are the keys to that game now, since that's the only Valley team you didn't beat in the back nine?
Yeah, in that game we were dealing with a lot of adversity with the injuries and whatnot, and one of the coaching adjustments I made during that time was to not play fast, and we had been pushing the ball at a good pace. We had been pressing, we didn't press, and so as a result of that, we just were different. And, you know, we didn't have an inside presence. Miranda Lyles, our 6'3" post, was out. Mallory was out, so we didn't have that inside presence that we've been able to have since they've been back. And, you know, I just think that, you know, we're fortunate right now that we can stay healthy. And I thought our kids did a great job of staying connected to the program and how we were teaching things while they were out. And they were able to come back in and really give us a huge boost.
So do you feel like you can really attack the inside against Drake?
Absolutely. I think that is our advantage in this matchup. I think Drake's a tremendous team. They're well coached. They have a lot of weapons on the perimeter, but the lineups that they like to play, they're small. And so we're going to try to take advantage of our size and our athleticism on the inside.
All right. Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
Otis, looks like that's all the questions for you. Best of luck, and we'll see you in a couple days.
All right, thanks.
Thanks. Next on the line, we should have head coach Barb Smith of Illinois State. Good afternoon, Barb. How are you?
Good afternoon. Doing great. How about yourself?
Pretty good.
Excellent.
Your Redbirds are matched up with Northern Iowa this weekend. You just saw them last weekend. Do you kind of see that as a benefit as far as preparation goes, or kind of a blessing in disguise maybe?
I think it's a benefit that we just got to play them, so we kind of know what to expect. But for us, it doesn't matter who we're playing. We're just trying to get better and learn from the mistakes that we've made all along.
Thanks, Coach. At this time, I'll open it up for questions for you.
To ask Coach a question, press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. Our first question comes from Jill Hutchinson of Valley TV.
Barb, that was a tough loss at Northern and then at Drake. What's the confidence level of your kids right now?
Well, I think our fight, our battle in the Drake game in particular showed our resilience, and we've had that type of fight all year. And it's fun. It's fun when the players are still doing that in light of our season. They're still battling, and so we're having a blast with them. They're still working hard. They're ready to go again. They came out yesterday ready to practice, and I just feel like we're in the games, and we're all we got to do is make a few more layups.
What are your keys to beating Northern Iowa in this week?
Well, Northern Iowa, Tanya does such a great job, and they're so balanced and versatile, and they can find their scorers, and everybody can score. So they're a very, very difficult team to defend, but we've got to do a better job defending them. We've got to play more of a team defense than we've played, and then at the other end, we've got to do the same thing. We've got to be consistent, and that's something we've been battling all year with. Who's going to be our scorers this game? Who's going to be our defensive stoppers? It's been very inconsistent. So we got to try to be more consistent at both ends, and we've got to have balanced scoring, and we've got to do a great job defensively.
Okay, great. Thank you, Barb. Good luck.
Thanks, Jill.
Our next question comes from Nick Pateras of Waterloo Courier.
Hi, Coach. Looking at your matchup with UNI, what would you kind of consider the biggest difference that you saw in Northern Iowa between the first and the second time you saw them this season?
The difference was not very much. I mean, they did the same thing to us twice. So they played very consistent both games. They've had multiple scores, and they're just a tough team.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Our next question comes from Brian Bloodworth of WJBC Radio.
Barb.
Hello there.
I know Chloe's been your leader on the floor, but today she was named the Scholar Athlete team. Can you talk about that?
Well, Chloe's whole story is just fascinating, and just her whole story, and she's just come in and made a complete role change. She's our leader on the floor. She's our leader off the floor. She does the right things. She's in the community. She is just she's a true student athlete, scholar athlete, and she's somebody that any program would love to have, and we're going to miss her.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coach, I think that's all the questions for you today. Best of luck this weekend, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Next on the line, we should have head coach Terry Morin of Indiana State. Good afternoon, Terry. How's it going?
Hi, guys. How's everybody doing?
Pretty good. First of all, congratulations on a share of the regular season championship. Great accomplishment for your team.
Yeah, thank you. We're real excited, and I don't think anybody had the cards stacked against them more than we did, going up to Drake in Northern Iowa, neck and neck with all three teams, and against two really, really good basketball teams that can just flat out shoot it.
Right. Talk a little about, you guys opened up conference season winning 6 straight, and then you took a little hiatus, and then you closed the season with 6 straight victories. What do you kind of think is the key to getting back on track and going into the tournament on a high note?
Well, I think part of it was, we weren't naive to think that we weren't going to have some hurdles throughout the season. Anytime you put as many pieces or bring as many new pieces as we had, knowing that it was going to take us some time to gel, kind of hit our stride at the right time. And I think as a staff, we were hopeful that it would, be towards the end of the season and into March and into the conference tournament. And I think we have some really good momentum right now. I think our kids are playing with a lot of confidence. I think devoted to the fact that they've said and rebounds, and it's nice to look after the season. Leading the conference and, team defense and team rebounding. So, I think that they figured out that if you do that, then your offense comes a little bit easier for you. It's, like I said, I think our kids are playing with a tremendous amount of confidence, and they're enjoying the moment, and they're really grateful just for the opportunity that presents itself.
Thanks, Coach. At this time, I'll open up for questions for you.
To ask Coach a question, press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. Our first question comes from Nick Pateras of Waterloo Courier.
Hi, Coach. You clinched the number 1 seed, and then looking at the draw, it looks like you've got 2 of the hottest teams in the conference in Evansville and Drake in the 4 and 5 spots. Can you talk a little bit about the challenges on that top half of the bracket in this year's tournament?
Well, first things first, we gotta worry about that. The Loyola Bradley game first. But look at the potential second round opponent for us. As you mentioned, Evansville playing at a high level right now. He has them, I think, playing at an all-time high confidence, and then Drake's just. We snuck out of there with a win. That's a team that is dangerous, and they propose a lot of challenges because they can all score. And we have some true post players, so it makes it difficult for our bigs to have to chase some of those guards around. But 2 really, really good teams, and I know Jenny and OT have to be excited about the way their teams are right now. They're well coached. Their kids play hard. And I think Kimba Clark is one of the best, if not the best player in our league.
Thanks, Coach.
Again, for questions, press star 1.
Coach. I think that's all the questions for you. I'll let you go.
Thank you so much.
On Thursday.
Okay, we'll see you. Bye-bye.
Next on the line, we should have head coach Tanya Warren of Northern Iowa. Good afternoon, Tanya. How's it going?
Hi, Kelly. It's getting warmer, so that's a plus.
I know. I agree. It should be pretty good weather here this weekend, so that's a plus.
Very exciting.
Talk a little bit about your team. You guys are coming in winning 6 out of your last 7, just scoring a ton of points. What do you think's been clicking for your team lately?
Well, you look at the balance that we have offensively, our ability. All 5 kids can score. You never know who's going to be the leading scorer. But we've been able to figure out our ability to score inside out. Obviously, we're a little bit disappointed in what took place in the final game, but I think you have to give Indiana State credit. They played fantastic, but that in no way erases how excited we are in terms of what we was able to do in this Missouri Valley Conference season.
Thanks, Tanya. At this time, I'll open up for questions for you.
To ask Coach a question, press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. Your first question comes from Jill Hutchison of Valley TV.
Hey, Tanya, you guys really did kick it into gear as the season progressed, and you seem to have great offensive balance. Talk a little bit about your defense. Is that where you want it to be right now?
Well, at times. At times we are defending extremely well. Obviously we like to mix it up, but I think what this team has figured out in the Missouri Valley Conference and then the run was we had to be able to rebound, and if we could win the rebounding battle or keep it close, we had a chance. And when you look at the games that we won, we usually won the rebounding battle or kept it very close, and in the games that we lost, it wasn't very close. So I do like at times how we're defending. I like the way we're able to mix things up, but we have to understand the consistency in terms of our ability to hold our opponent to one and done.
Okay, and the other thought I have is, you've really done the job without the superstars that you've had in the past, like in Jackie. Talk about how your kids have come together this season.
Well, we knew it was going to be a process. I mean, when you look at the 5 kids that we had returning, I mean, there's literally just 5 kids out of the 16 that had collegiate experience. So in all 5 of those kids, their roles had changed from a year ago. So we knew it was going to take a little time in the non-conference, but what they began to understand, it's a very unselfish team. When you look at the assists, they don't care who gets the headlines. All they're worried about is being in the position to win basketball games. And that is a testament to the great leadership we've had in Brooke Brown. And Jackie Kalem passed that torch down to Brooke Brown and Brittany Donaldson. And they've done a great job, and our young kids have done a great job of buying into that.
Good job. That's huge. All right, thanks. Good luck this week, Coach.
Thank you, Jill.
Tanya, it looks like that's all the questions for you. Best of luck this weekend, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, our final caller today should be head coach Cindy Stein of Southern Illinois. Cindy, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. How are you?
Pretty good. Talk a little about Diana Pierre. She's just been a beast, the last half of the season, and just talk about her development, not only this season, but from last year to this season as well.
I think with Diana that she just presents a presence in the paint. We've just seen her really blossom into somebody that is really trying to improve her game and, being able to go outside and face the basket a little bit more, obviously because people are looking to trap her all the time. So her being able to read defenses better, read the move better. She just keeps progressing. She attacks the boards pretty hard. She's obviously been our steady throughout the season.
Thanks, Coach. At this time, I'll open it up for questions for you.
To ask Coach a question, press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. Our first question comes from Jill Hutchison of Valley TV.
Hey, Cindy. Needless to say, it has been a tough season for you and your kids. What's the mindset of your kids coming into this tournament? They think they can, pull some surprises and get some upsets in here?
Well, one of the things that we have noticed with our team this year is that we've got to basically teach them the mentality and the physicality in every single step. So, they didn't even know how to do a pregame huddle versus a chant or a hype, or how to get in a circle right. So it's so preparing for this tournament's kind of been the same way. We've got to kind of teach them what it takes to prepare for having to win 4 games in a row, understanding that you got to win the first one, and what that is, because you're right, it's tough because we've not won back-to-back games all year. So now we want them to try to win 4 in a row. So we're just basically just trying to take it, one game at a time as always, and try to get into that second game on Friday and go from there. But just the mentality, it doesn't help that we're on spring break this week. So you're dealing with that kind of laid-back mindset. They want to sleep all day. So we've had to shake them out of the beds a little bit and get them moving. But we'll have them ready by Thursday.
All right, I'm sure you will. Good luck, Susie.
Again, to ask a question, press star 1.
Coach, it looks like that's all the questions for you. Best of luck this weekend, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Thanks. This concludes our conference call for today. The Missouri Valley Conference Women's Basketball Championship is this weekend, Thursday through Sunday, March 13th through 16th at the Family Arena in St. Charles. Thanks, everybody, for jumping on the call, and we hope to see you this weekend.
Show your school spirit and make all the difference. Sport your team's colors at the MVC tournament and get great seats for as little as $12 a session. Just $12. Don't miss the 2014 Missouri Valley Conference Women's Basketball Tournament at the Family Arena in St. Charles, Missouri. Show your school spirit and get your tickets now. NCAA March Madness is coming to St. Louis. When the final buzzer sounds, only the best will advance to the NCAA Sweet 16. Experience it live. Catch second and third round action of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship March 21st and 23rd at Scott Trade Center, hosted by the Missouri Valley Conference. Single session tickets start at $66 and are available for a limited time. Visit ncaa.com/MBV tickets and make a date with champions.